Our journey to the Alpine regions of Switzerland and northern Italy started in the Swiss town of Lucerne, founded in 750 AD and nestled against nearby Lake Lucerne. The Chapel Bridge is the main landmark of the city and is one of the oldest wooden bridges in Europe, built in 1333. It was almost completely destroyed by a fire in 1993, but was rebuilt by the following year. Overlooking the city is Mount Pilatus, which can be reached by taking a cogwheel railway and then a cable car to the top of the mountain, where on a clear day, panoramic views of the region can be enjoyed. From Lucerne, we made our way to Bern, the capital of Switzerland, a city nestled among rolling hills with a dramatic skyline. A popular treat for tourists is to gather at the historic clock tower, built in 1131, to watch a one-of-a-kind performance of the mechanical figures. The name Bern is derived from a German word meaning bear, so it is not surprising that the most popular attraction in Bern is the bear pit. Because of the controversial nature of keeping bears in captivity, the bear pit, which houses 4 brown bears, was renovated in 2009 to provide a much more humane habitat. We paused after our visit with the Bruins to sample a regional specialty, beer and a pretzel. Thus fortified, we tackled our next challenge. The Bern Cathedral, which was built in the Gothic style, towers above the surrounding buildings. Construction was begun in 1491, but not completed until 1893. 312 steps lead to the top of the cathedral spire, offering spectacular views of the city. Our final Swiss destination was reached by taking the Glacier Express train to the quaint mountain village of Zermatt, a famed mountaineering and ski resort of the Swiss Alps and home to the world-famous Matterhorn mountain. The spectacular first look prompted us to take a gondola ride to the top for a view of the surrounding area. And what a view! We elected to walk back, crossing over a precariously positioned suspension bridge, and afterwards took a short break to get in touch with our inner child. We said goodbye to Zermatt with a final pose before the Matterhorn, and then it was off to northern Italy. In the city of Milan, a must-see for visitors is the Milan Duomo, or cathedral, the 3rd largest church in the world. It took almost 6 centuries for workers to complete its construction. To the left above the front entrance is a familiar image. It is said that from this statue, Frederick August Bartholdi created the Statue of Liberty 75 years later. The next morning found us stopping in the fishing village of Verena next to Lake Como, where our guide Andrea patiently explained the benefits of enjoying gelato at 10 o'clock in the morning. The highlight of our stay in the valley town of Tirano was a visit to a goat farm, where we not only got to taste a variety of cheeses made from goat's milk, but also made some cheese by our own hand. We were close to the border of Switzerland, so it made sense to board the Bernina Red Train for a quick trip across the border to take in additional spectacular views. Because the train cannot climb more than 7 degrees at a time, ingenious devices like this circular viaduct made the ascent possible. Once we arrived, views of the glaciers left no doubt about the impact of climate change. A visit to a winery in the Franciacorta region, which is known for its sparkling wines, introduced us to the process for making sparkling wines and gave us an opportunity to judge our wine tasting skills while blindfolded. While most of the hotel rooms we stayed in were unremarkable, there were a few places that had views worth getting up early in the morning to witness. A visit to the town of Brescia started off promising as we encountered a group of street musicians that enticed us with their music. Then it was on to the Roman ruins in Brescia, where we were able to view Winged Victory, a 1st century Roman bronze statue discovered in 1826. It is one of the most complete bronzes of antiquity ever found. We stopped for a short time in the lakeside city of Desenzano, long enough for a tourist photo and then a chance to watch local characters interact with the visitors. A leisurely stop and visit in the small hamlet of St. Magdalena afforded us the chance to stop and smell the roses, or in other words, appreciate the scenery of the area. While everyone is a photographer with a cell phone, this was a day when no one could take a bad picture. The views were just too picturesque and perfect. Afterwards, we had a chance to admire the wood carvings done by the locals during the winter months when tourism slows. In the town of Bolzano, we visited the Museum of Archaeology to visit Ötzi the Iceman, a 5,000-year-old mummy discovered in the Alps in 1991. This figure is a recreation of what Ötzi looked like. A 1-hour bus ride took us to the ski village of Val Gardena, where our guide led us on a short walk, providing magnificent views of the surrounding mountains. A visit to an apple farm provided us with a sampling of several types of apples, followed by lunch and then an impromptu concert from our guide. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, so we said our farewells and began anticipating our next traveling adventure.